Hello everyone. Today I thought we'd do a little bit of something different, something new. We're gonna play a little game of chess. Well, to be honest, I think we'll play several games of chess, but we are definitely going to keep it quite chilled out, nice and relaxing. I've got a candle on, lovely candle. I've got my nice cup of tea. I'm actually going to take just a little drink before we start. Oh, lovely. And yeah, I am by no means a great chess player or anything like that, but certainly in the last few months or so, really since the Queen's Gambit came onto Netflix and I saw that, I've gotten more into the different styles of how chess is played, the different ways you can play certain movements, certain strategies and that sort of thing. I have played chess quite sort of generally for fun for many years. But really, like I said, in these last sort of few months is really when I've started to pay a bit more attention to the intricacies of the game. But we are going to have a few games today. You might also be thinking, like, where's your opponent? Where is their opponent? There's no opponent there. What's going on? Don't worry. I have a little chess app on my laptop, which is just to the side here, that we'll be playing against. So I am gonna always play as white, just for easy's sake, so I'm not having to flip the board around or move over there or anything like that. But I have the chess app over here that we will be playing against, so I will be playing the same moves on the board as are played over there. So there's no playing against myself or anything like that. We'll just simply be playing against a chess app. So it's that. That's how that's going to go. This is actually kind of a fun chessboard and a fun little story. I've had this chessboard now for about coming up to 13 years. I bought this in Egypt. It's handmade. All the pieces are carved really nicely. And look, if you're not into chess or anything like that, then this kind of stuff may be a little bit boring, but what's wrong with a little bit of boredom? Boredom can be quite relaxing sometimes. It means you're not doing much else. But yeah, it's a handmade Egyptian chessboard. That's why some of the pieces are a little bit unusual compared to what you may think. I think the king and the queen are supposed to be pharaohs, which is why kind of you see the little top on there as opposed to the usual kind of cross that you see. The bishops look like little elephants. Of course, the knights and the rooks and everything are pretty similar. But for those who may not know the even the basics of chess, it's a really interesting game. It can be quite fun. It's very, very obviously challenging and thought-provoking, and it means, well, it does require a lot of thought, which I think helps. I think can help your focus generally. I think it's a very, very relaxing game to actually play, as opposed to things maybe like, I don't know, golf, for example, which you may think is a sport that's quite slow and that doesn't take a lot of athletic ability, although it takes technical ability. It can be very annoying to play something like that. But games like chess, mental sports, I suppose, like chess, are or tend to be quite relaxing to play anyway. But basics, we have these guys, which are the pawns. They can move either 1 or 2 squares ahead, 2 squares only if they are on their starting square, and they capture diagonally, like that, only forwards. These are the rooks. They can move any such amount of squares, horizontal and vertically. They cannot move diagonally, they cannot jump over things. The only piece that can jump over other pieces is the knight, and these move in an L shape or 1 up and 1 diagonal, however you may like to explain that. But they move in an L shape, so like there, and to there, and to there, and to there, and to there, for example. But they can jump over other pieces. They are the only piece on the board that can jump over other pieces. The bishops are very similar to the rooks, but they move only diagonally on their set square. So you have a bishop for the black squares and a bishop for the white squares. The queen is often said to be the most powerful piece on the board. I always love this white queen because you can tell it's handmade, because there is a little imperfection on it. It really it adds character, I think, to the chess set, which is nice. But the queen has the power of both the bishop and the rook, so she can move any such direction, any amount of squares she wants to. The king has the same powers as the queen, but only for 1 square. So he can move like that, but no further than 1 square. And the king is, of course, the object of the game, to capture your opponent's king or to checkmate your opponent's king. So the king's safety tends to be the number 1 priority in the game of chess, particularly if you are rather defensively inclined. Now, I might play a few of these games today a little more defensively or a little more offensively, depending on how I'm feeling, depending on how the opponent being, the chess computer or whatever it may be, whoever may be sat in a little room somewhere controlling the pieces on this chess app. I don't think we can count out that as a possibility of what's going on here. I don't know. But king's safety is the number 1 priority in the game of chess. So I think, to be honest, we're just going to start, and I'm going to talk through some of the moves that I'm thinking about, some of the strategies that I'm thinking about whilst I'm playing, because of course I'm not playing against a human being that sat over there. If I was playing against a human being that was sat over there, I wouldn't be saying anything, because that would be giving away secrets, and we don't like to give away secrets. Giving away secrets is very bad, because if you give away secrets, that means you're going to lose, and you don't want to lose. It's a very competitive game. But like I said, I am by no means an expert. I'm by no means a good player at chess. I do simply just enjoy the game, and find it quite relaxing to play, which is why I'm doing it today. And I hope you find it relaxing too. Whatever you're doing at whatever time of day you may be watching this, I hope it can relax you and chill you out for however long it needs to. I really do. We're not going to be playing with any time or anything like that. There's not a chess clock, so there's no pressure or stress of any of that nonsense. We don't need that. We simply need relaxing games of chess. So I think we will start. Now I'm going to start with my first move on the laptop over here and play the same move on the board in front of us. So I'm going to move my pawn here to there. He's brought his knight out to there. He's attacking that pawn now. So I am going to defend my pawn with this knight here. So I'll play that on the laptop and we'll see what he does here. He's brought his pawn out to there. He's again attacking at that pawn from another angle now, but he has left this diagonal open for a king, for his king. Fortunately, my bishop here is on the same diagonal, so if I was to put my bishop there, I would be able to check his king. However, I wouldn't do that because he could simply defend that. He could defend that king quite simply. He could bring his pawn out there, which would be threatening the bishop. He could bring that one out, which would be threatening. He could bring his queen out, which would be threatening. He could bring his bishop out, which would be threatening. Or he could simply defend with his knight, which wouldn't be threatening, but it would make my bishop completely null in that position. So I'm not going to do that. He's tempting me, and I'm not going to do that. You also might be thinking, do I want to protect my pawn in the middle more? Perhaps I do. Maybe now. I am going to play that. And I'm sure, I hope, like I said, I certainly hope this is a relaxing experience for you. But if you are a much better chess player than me, maybe you'll be shouting at the screen telling me certain moves to play, and I'm not going to play them because I'm not that good. But we'll try. He has decided to be rather attacking with his bishop now. I say he, I've no idea who this person is. I'm going to put it as in the robot. The chess robot has decided to be rather attacking. He has played his bishop out there. Now, I could take with my queen. He is threatening my queen here. But if I take with my queen, his knight is going to take my queen. And I don't want that to happen. I do not want that to happen. A much better move is simply to defend with my pawn. He's moving this pawn forward. He's threatening this knight now. But what I can do in this situation, actually, if I was to move this knight to there, yes, okay, he could take with this knight. I would be threatening this knight, but I could take him straight back. Alternatively, he could take me with the queen, at which point I would take the queen. I'm not sure he would do that. The more reasonable thing to do would be to take with that knight. So maybe an even better move, in order to keep my knight on the board a little bit longer, is to bring it back like that, which actually does threaten that pawn there. He's brought this pawn out here. And now I am going to try and form a little bit of an attack. Hopefully. If I can, I'm going to try and start a little bit of attack. It's very important to develop your pieces quite early, and I know so far I've actually only really developed my knight. I'm playing quite defensively here, but I've got a nice structure of pawns in the middle here that are being quite protective, so that is quite useful. I'm not under any threat on the dark square diagonals at the moment because his dark square bishop and his queen are still all there, so I'm not really under any major threat at the moment. Perhaps it might be quite interesting if I was to simply put my bishop there. And what I'm thinking here is I'm now attacking, I was attacking this diagonal anyway, but I'm now also attacking this little diagonal. He has, what has he done? He's moved his knight. I need to start saying it. We don't know the gender of this chess robot. We have no idea. We have no idea which gender this chess robot may be. We don't. He doesn't have a name. It doesn't have a name. I'll stop saying it now. It's probably confusing everyone. What I could do, if I really wanted to, which I'm not going to, maybe you're thinking, well, if you moved your bishop there, you could try and attack his queen. Yes, but the knight is just going to take me, or the queen is just going to take me, and then I'm in a very bad position because the queen would result in something, that something being check, which we don't want to give up right at the moment at all. I think what I may do now is I'm going to have to start bringing some more of my pieces out here. But there's a little bit of congestion going on. I'm not a fan of the congestion that's going on, to be honest with you. I'm really not. But I do want to quite play a little bit of a defensive game at the moment. And I know you may be shouting to yourself, play this move, play that move. You might not be wrong. But I'm trying to play this game myself. I'm trying to analyse this little game myself and see what the best moves are. Maybe it's just a simple case at the moment of putting my knight in a little bit more of a threatening position. He's moved his pawn forward. He's attacking my knight now, which is a good move from him, but it does mean that I can perhaps, I'm thinking now, do I ignore that knight? Do I ignore what he's trying to do to that knight? Because he has been threatening that knight an awful lot, and I'm wondering why. Maybe it's just wise for me to bring my other knight there in order to protect it. He's taken the pawn with the bishop. No, that's not what he's done. That's not what he's done at all. I don't know why I didn't notice that. That's very bad of me. I didn't even notice his bishop was there. I don't think I did anyway. But he has taken that pawn with his bishop. He's threatening the knight now, but it is a simple recapture with my pawn here. He has now taken the knight, so there's a bit of interest going on now. There's a bit of capturing going on now, which is always fun, isn't it? I suppose. I can now, though, simply put a knight back there, because I was defending that square with that other knight. He is moving his other bishop out now. He is again threatening this knight. He likes threatening my knights. He's really determined to get my knights off the board. This bishop does defend this knight, but I really do need to start thinking about better attacking options here. I think that's quite a good little move there, because it actually threatens both his knight and his bishop. Now he has taken that with his bishop, which at the end of the day was actually quite a mistake from me. It's a very bad mistake, actually. Oh dear, why did I do that? I have no idea why I did that, but we can't change it now. Oh, we can't change it now. Okay. I'm clearly not playing my best game of chess today. Oh dear. You're all thinking I'm a terrible amateur. Oh no, I don't want to be thought of as that. Maybe I'll just put my bishop there. He does take that knight. I knew he was going to take that knight. He was desperate to get rid of those knights, but it does mean that this bishop that was defending can recapture. So he's lost both his bishops. I've lost both my knights. That's what's going on here. He's moved his queen over there, threatening my bishop here, which is a fair thing to do. So I think I'm gonna remove this bishop. Well, I'm not going to remove the bishop, but I am going to move the bishop again. I'm gonna just put a little bit of a threat on the knight there. He can move. He's moved his queen to there. He's got a check. He's got himself a check. What's he going to do here? What do? I can castle. I can't castle actually at the moment. I'm not allowed to castle. Castling, we'll get on to castling later, but I'm not allowed to castle at the moment. So what I am going to do, I am playing a terrible game of chess. I'm playing a very bad game of chess today. It's not good at all. It's not good at all. I'm going to offer him an exchange of queens because that's pretty much all I can do. And then offering the exchange of queens is I'm going to block there. He hasn't taken it yet. He has simply moved his rook to there. So queenie over here has to stay there. Now I can castle. Castling. You can either castle short, which is castling on the king side here, or castle long, which is castling on the queen side here. Castling is what it sounds. Your king goes in the castle. Some people call rooks castles. Maybe it's because of the move castling. I really don't know. I really don't know why castling's called castling. I guess it's just because the rook looks like a little castle. I'm actually going to castle long. So I'm going to castle like this. Which actually was a terrible move. That was a terrible move. Because he has just captured my queen and I have no way of getting his back. Oh dear. What am I doing today? I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm focusing on. Screams. Screams, guys. Perhaps it's just wise to put a rook there. He is now castled. And I am simply going to capture his queen back. I don't know why he didn't do that in the first place. Moved his knight to there. Okay. Let's just think smartly here. Let's not do anything rash or anything drastic or anything silly. I'm not prepared to do any more silly moves because I'm quite likely to do another silly move and I don't want to do one. This knight is a problem because this knight, if he takes this pawn, is threatening the king. If he takes this pawn, is threatening the king. That knight is a big problem. And I don't like that knight is a big problem. I don't like him there at all. I think what I might do at this point is start to try and do a little bit of attacking of my own. So maybe it is just a case at the moment of... I'm actually going to bring my rook there. So he has taken this pawn. I don't know why I brought my rook there. That again was a terrible move. I'm not thinking very well. I suppose it wasn't because I can just take his knight. I hope my mind gets more in the game as we move through these few games we will be playing today. And maybe they'll speed up a little bit. I did want to just kind of generally explain what was going on in this first opening game at the moment. So, well, what do we do from here? We have this double rook thing going on here, so that is by, if I move right over there, he will take, but I can take again. But he also has 2 rooks, which is an issue. So if I move my bishop back to there, I can maybe get rid of one of those rooks. Now his other rook does defend, and he brings his other rook there. So he's recognised what's going on, or what I'm thinking here. But I do need to start trying to screw up his king, basically. I do really need to start thinking about doing that properly. I could play that. What I'm thinking of here is I'm thinking about attacking over here. He has played that move there, which is a good move from that little pawn. That little pawn's being hateable now. I'm actually just going to move my bishop back. I'm not going to take that pawn because I want that bishop on that diagonal. I really do. He's just moved that little pawn forward. What I'm going to do now, well, I can actually make a check here. I can actually check him. So I'm going to do that. A check obviously being when you are directly threatening your opponent's king, basically forcing your opponent to move their king or block their king from being attacked, capture that piece. It's a threat, and checkmate is obviously what we are after in the game of chess anyway. What has he done with that king? He's simply moved it there. That's a fair move from the king there. Nothing wrong with that at all. What am I thinking about these bishops now? These bishops are in semi-threatening positions because they can, if they move forward, they can start, if they move further towards the centre, they can start attacking this way, which is what we want, them to do. I think that might not be such a bad move. He's come all the way down here now, taking my rook. Now I thought that might not be such a bad move. It actually was a terrible move, because I should have registered that this bishop being in this square was actually protecting this square. And now he's really threatening my king here. He's badly threatening my king, and I don't like that. I have to move this king there. He's really starting to form dangerous positions with his rooks now. I don't like that. I'm going to have to start forming dangerous positions with my pieces very quickly. Very quickly. If I want to stay in this game. Let's just take another drink and think. Because I think this game might be lost, unfortunately. Like I said, I am by no means a good chess player. I just find it quite relaxing to play, relaxing to think about. And maybe sometimes you overthink, maybe sometimes you overanalyze, maybe sometimes you simply don't look hard enough or aren't focused enough, which may be what's happening today. who can say? Who can say what's happening today? Okay. What am I thinking? Something with the bishop, although I, in the past, haven't used my pawns very well. It's a weakness in my game, is not using my pawns very well at all in the kind of outside of the opening of the game. And I haven't done again today. I can retroactively say that, but it's not going to change the quite poor position we are in at the moment. What I'm going to do for the minute is put my bishop there. He's checked again with his rook again here, which is a good move from him. I literally only have one square I can move my king to, which is here. He is now threatening my rook over there, which is a fine move from him, to be honest. It really is. I am badly losing this game. Badly losing this game. I really am. I've got to be very wary of what's going on here. I think at this point, if I was playing a human being, I would literally resign the game. There's not much of a way for me to win this at all that I can see anyway. A better player than me may be able to see an escape for me here, but I can't at the moment. I really can't. Unfortunately, I am rather struggling. I don't really want to lose the rook. We are going to play on the game, because I just think it's quite relaxing to move the pieces around, and the little sounds of the pieces on the board can be quite relaxing. Can, give you some nice feelings, which is nice, which is what we're here for. It's exactly what we're here for. Okay, sir, what are you doing? I don't think there's any way of saving my rook at all over here. So, I'm just figuring out what the best way of sacrificing that rook is. Is it to leave it where it is? Is it to move it here? Is it to move it here? Is it to move it here, wherever? Because wherever I move it realistically, apart from this square, it's going to get taken, and that square is fairly useless. You can see it takes a lot of thought to play this game well. It really does. I do tend to prefer to play against other human beings. I think that's because the kind of chess apps and that sort of stuff play their moves very, very quickly. And it always takes me, I like to think a little bit. And if I was playing another human being, they would be thinking a little bit. So it kind of slows the overall game down, but it makes it seem a little bit more, I don't know, it makes it seem a little bit more enjoyable. I always tend to find it a little bit too quick when I play against the chess apps. Not from my perspective. I take my time with it and try and think things through as well as that's getting me at the minute, because it's not getting me very well, or it's not getting me in good positions at all. I'm not doing well of thinking things through. I actually think at this point I'm just going to move my king there, because it's not under threat there, and it can actually potentially cause some damage. He does take my rook. I am badly losing this game. I am terribly badly losing this game. I can't even bring my bishop there to threaten his knight and then his king because his rook will just take me there. So maybe I just go on a bit of a rampage with my king and start trying to take off a few of his pieces. So he's now threatening this bishop here, which is a good move, a very good move from the computer. But what would you expect from a computer? Really, you would expect good moves from a computer. I'm under no illusion as to the fact that the computers are much better at this game than me. They really are. I think I might just go back here with my bishop, because it at least, I think that was the worst move I played in the whole game, to be honest, was moving this bishop from here when I was being too attacking there and not thinking about the fact that that was defending this square. He does move the rook there, so he's threatening that bishop there. This bishop can now virtually move nowhere without being taken. Apart from one square, which is actually right over here, but it's absolutely useless there. I have lost this game. I have lost this game at this point. But we are going to play it out until I have officially been checkmated, been defeated by the computer. I'm going to play that. He's actually moved his knight there. He doesn't want to take that bishop yet, but he is now threatening this bishop here. Now I could just take his knight with the king. I don't know really why the computer did that, unless they have a much more impressive mind than me, which we've already determined is actual fact. But then also I can capture the rook with my pawn here. So he now only has one rook, and I have one bishop. So maybe it's a little more even than we first thought, because of a few funny moves from the computer there. Maybe it's a touch more even than we first thought. I don't know if that's true or not, because I think his pawns are in better positions than mine, for sure. But we'll see what happens here. Maybe because the computer's decided to be a little bit nice to me for God knows what reason, maybe I'll be able to actually do something with this game. Maybe. I'm under no... I'm not going to pretend that I shouldn't be winning this game. A human being would have beaten me by now. At this point, I do think that is an accurate statement. At this point, I don't know. At this point, my king, now your king should never be doing this. This is a little bit of a ridiculous. This is turning into a little bit of a ridiculous game, and that was actually quite a very, very bad move. To bring my king there. I suppose I can just bring the king there, which if he does want to take that bishop, which he hasn't done anyway. So, I'm going to have to try and get my queen back, because that is another rule of chess, is if one of your pawns reaches the end, you get your queen back. You get whatever piece you want back, but realistically you get your queen back, because it's the most powerful piece. Well, he's going to stay on this diagonal here, because I think that's kind of what he wants to do. That's what he... Oh, not on the diagonal, sorry, on the one file here. That's what you call the verticals. He's going to stay on there because he knows that If I do move, I don't know why I did that, because he can just do that with the king. At this point, I think I'm just kind of enjoying moving pieces around a chessboard, because yes, I certainly have lost at this point. Now, I'd lost ages ago, but I certainly have lost at this point. The obsession with taking pieces is getting a little bit interesting, though, I must admit. Not quite sure why he's always taking all the pieces. I could just move my bishop there. It's going to force him. He won't want to give up that rook. It's his one chance. I mean, he has. But now he's playing the pawn game. He is playing the pawn game now. What I could do is nothing. I don't know what I could do. I could get rid of his rook, but is it going to be much use? Chess games shouldn't go like this. There is no reason for a chess game to ever really result, or at least the chess games I'm used to playing, there's no reason for them to ever result in the pieces looking like this at all. I'm going to move the bishop there, because if he wants to move that pawn forward again, I'm going to be able to just take whatever he gets. I'm going to move the king. At this point, this can be very quick, but because I'm having to play on two things at the same time, he has got his king back there, or his queen back, but I'm just going to retake that with the bishop. And I could force a draw, which at this point would be phenomenal, I think, if I could force a draw out of this game, because drawing is something that does happen a lot in chess, certainly at a high level, and make no mistake, this has been a very low level of chess, of the quality we've been playing this game. It's been very, very low level indeed. I'm just going to put that there because it means he can't take it. He can't take that bishop, because I will take him with the king. He is going to try and start doing things with his other two pawns here, but we'll carry on. We'll carry on messing around, and hopefully, like I said, I can force a draw. I would love to force a draw at this point, a stalemate. I really would. So I'm just going to move the bishop there. He's going to move to there. I'm going to move the bishop. I'm not going to move the bishop, actually. I'm just going to play some fairly meaningless moves. We're going to be playing some meaningless moves now. Not really sure why we're playing these meaningless moves. Can we call it a draw? I think human beings at this point would just call it a draw and say thank you very much for having this fairly stupid game of chess with me. Hasn't it been fun? To which we would respond, no, not really. It's been a little bit silly. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of silliness every now and again. We are playing some very, very meaningless moves at the moment. He has decided to do that. I have actually forced a check now, and oh my goodness me. How has this happened? It is a draw. It is officially a draw. The chess app is shouting at me that it's officially a draw. It is, of course, a draw. There is an impossibility of checkmate. So, there we go. There's our first game of chess today. Has been that ridiculous game. We will play another, and hopefully this one may be a little bit better than that last one. We'll just quickly set up all the pieces again. I'll stick with the white pieces for no real reason. I mean, I can play as the black pieces. I just did this. I like going first. There's no real... You can win as white or black, of course. It doesn't matter really which you play. It's just one of the rules of chess is that white moves first. That's how it's always been, as far as I can tell, in the history of chess. And like I said, I am no expert on the game of chess, how to play the game of chess, or anything like that. But we are going to have another game here. I think we might just stick with 2 games today. So we'll have this game, and then hopefully I can win this one, because somehow we were able to force a draw on the last game. But hopefully we can win this one. So, I am going to play. I know there is certain names of strategies, especially openings. There's all sorts of things like obviously the Queen's Gambit itself, the Netflix show. The title of it is the name of a chess opening. I think in order to play the Queen's Gambit from this position, I think I would play that. He would take there, and then the Queen would be able to do something. Like I said, I'm really no expert, but there's something called the King's Gambit. I think there's the Danish Gambit. Defences, you've got like the French defence, the Sicilian defence. Now, what all these exactly do, I can't really remember. And how to play them, really, I can't actually remember. So maybe I will end up playing moves that have a certain name or are a certain opening, and I won't really know that I've played that opening or that particular style. As interesting as they all are, they're very difficult to remember because they're not they're more ideas and tactics as opposed to defined moves, because there is so many different types of move on a chessboard. It's not limitless, obviously, because there is a finite number of squares, but it's an outstandingly huge number, the amount of moves that you can do on a chessboard. It's staggering. So I may end up playing some openings, some moves that are called a certain thing, but I don't register what they're called because I've forgotten. We'll try and speed this game up a little bit. I maybe won't talk as much during this one, or maybe I will, who knows? Who knows, we haven't played it yet. Okay. Let's defend that pawn a little more. It's a very important pawn. He's brought his bishop out. That's interesting. We could. I mean, we can't now. I was thinking of trying to attack this square. This is the weakest square on the board. Equal, this is the weakest square on the board. It's the F2 and F7 squares. Because I have actually not talked about this, is that all squares on a chessboard actually have a designated letter and number. Goes from A1 all the way to H8. Like A1, 2, 3, 4, 5, B1, 2, 3, and so on. So if you were playing, that's why in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Ron plays wizard chess by saying things like knight to d7 and things like that, because that just is a particular square telling the knight to go to a particular square. So that's what that means. But I'm not going to go into necessarily all that now. It's perfectly simple to kind of grasp, but I'm not going to sit here and say, bishop to... I mean, I can't even... I struggle to figure out which squares are which. That's obviously E2 that I've now just actually thought about it, but I'm not going to sit here kind of doing that. I might play knight to E2 though. Like I said, I may not talk as much during this one, and we'll just kind of let the little clip-clops of the chess pieces ease our way into a relaxing state of mind, because they're probably doing a better job than my voice is anyway, or at least I think they are. I don't know, they might not be. Who knows? You probably know, because you're the one listening to this and watching it. I don't know at all. There is a saying in chess, actually, that a knight on the rim is dim because it can move only limited spaces. This knight, for example, only has half the spaces that a knight in the middle would be able to move to. That's an interesting saying that I've learned recently, because this knight could only move back to here, but it can't because there's a pawn there, or to here. It only has 4 spaces. Whereas my knight here can move to 8 different spaces. It can move there, 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 there. Can't move there, of course, because there's already a knight there, or there. That's just a nice little fun saying that I've recently learnt. But we're going to carry on. I think I'm going to leave that knight there, though, because it's well protected by the pawn if the queen wants to take it. So I'm quite happy with that staying there, to be honest. I could be attacking here if I wanted to. I could be very, very attacking if I wanted to. I'm not sure whether I am going to right at this moment, although it might not be the worst idea in the world. Although, having said that, I may, for now, try and attack that pawn some more. Well, he captures there. I don't know why I did that. Because I do have to actually move that very useful knight now. That was a bad move. We're not having any more bad moves. I'm sick of bad moves, so we're just going to go there. We had enough bad moves in the last game. Queen's posing a threat. That's a check. Queen is now posing a significant threat, which is unfortunate, isn't it? Because we actually have to block with... I'm going to block with the bishop, actually. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I know. That's not usually allowed. You're not supposed to take your hand off the piece and then move it back, but shh, don't tell anyone. We'll block with that pawn instead. That's a much better position. It's a much better move. He does take the knight there, but it does leave me open to take his queen. And that's also a check. So that's a fairly attacking misjudgment from the black pieces there from the computer. He was so desperate to try and attack with his queen that he's now lost his queen, and I'm up a queen, which is a very, very favourable position. I like that position. I like being in this position where I'm actually noticeably winning the game. But that's what it's all about. It's all about winning, guys. Let nobody tell you, let nobody fool you into thinking that chess is a gentleman's game or anything like that. It's all about winning. It's all about winning. You have to win. I'm not going to move that queen. That queen's in a good place. I am going to... I don't know. I said chess wasn't a gentleman's game, and then I started talking like Peter Cushing. That makes sense. That makes sense. Carry on. Carry on doing that. I'm going to go there. He's trying to threaten my queen. I'm not going to let him threaten my queen. I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to remove that knight. I know that it is sacrificing my own knight, but I think it was worth it, because that king is now very open. That's exactly where we want the king. We want the king in a very, very, very open position, because we can start really doing some damage, hopefully. Maybe I'll just force a load of checks, which will be quite fun to do, because it makes you feel powerful. Does it make you feel powerful if you're forcing a load of checks that ultimately result in nothing? I don't know. Actually, just going to move the rook over here. I'm not going to long castle today. I think the king is actually in... It's fine in the middle at the moment. Black isn't attacking all that well. He's just trying to threaten the queen. Which is he going? Are they going to be successful in doing that? I don't know. I'm going to force another check with Queenie, as I'm going to call her. Should we call her Queenie? I think we should call her Queenie. Yes. They defend by simply moving the pawn forward, which is perfectly reasonable thing to do. But if I go there, that queen's in a very dangerous position because it threatens the rook. And comes out here, he forces a check themselves here, which is fun of them. Thank you very much for doing that. You're really making the game very enjoyable, computer. I don't like the computer. I want to play against a human being. Which is fun. If anybody actually does want to play a game of chess at all, maybe we can make another one of these videos where I actually play against, like, people. That would be fun. I don't know how we do it, but it would be fun. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be very fun. I think we'll just move our king. No, we won't. We'll move our rook. We'll block with our rook. If he wants to take that rook, at this point we'll have to let him. He hasn't. He's actually gone there. The sneaky devil. Why has he gone there? Who knows? Well, that rook is pinned to the king. Now that's another phrase in chess that I've kind of recently learnt. Things like a pin is where, say, this bishop pins this rook to the king because this rook cannot move, otherwise the bishop takes the king and the game's over. So that's a pin. It can happen with anything. You know, it can happen with any piece. You can also have a fork. It usually happens with knights. Now I have no knights on the board. In fact, there are no knights on the board at all at the moment. And a fork is where we kind of, again, though a fork can be done with any piece. It's just kind of usually more done, I think, by knights because they are more able to fork and be kept safe. And it's when you basically go after two pieces at the same time. Bishops can fork quite well as well. Pawns can fork, though rooks can fork, queens can fork, anything can fork. But it's where you go after two pieces at the same time. So pin and fork are two little chess phrases that I've just recently learnt for the first time that I thought were quite interesting. I did. Because it's fun. It's fun to learn more about the game of chess. It actually really is. I'm actually just going to go there. I don't know why I've been talking for so long. I said I wasn't going to talk, but I'm going to go there and force the check so he can't do any silly nonsense up here with his bishop while Queenie, more accurately, is taking out his entire army. He can't do anything with his bishop while Queenie's on the rampage. And we like Queenie being on the rampage because when Queenie's on the rampage, you usually end up winning. And look, this isn't checkers or drafts, as British people call it. British people call checkers drafts, you know, where you have the little circle things. It's on what looks like a chessboard and you jump over every one and take them, and the object of that game is obviously to take all your opponent's pieces. That's not what chess is about, but sometimes when you're playing players who aren't that good, maybe even worse than me, if that's possible, it's fun sometimes to treat chess like a game of checkers, even though you shouldn't. It's a poor rule of poor rule to treat chess like a game of checkers, because it's obviously all about capturing the king. That's the first and most important thing to do in the game of chess, is capture or checkmate your opponent's king, not to take all of your opponent's pieces. It really doesn't matter. You can. I'll end this video today with something that I did learn, actually again from the Queen's Gambit, which is when Beth plays her first ever game against the janitor in the orphanage, and he does something to her called the Scholar's Mate, which is a really fun and very, very annoying thing to do if you are playing a real beginner at chess and you want to embarrass them straight off, or you want to give them some tough love. I suppose it can be taken as either way. So I'll show you that to finish this, I think, because I think that's a nice little trick and quite a funny thing to do, to be honest. Let's just have a think. Maybe we'll just start. forcing a lot of checks because I think that's the most fun thing to do. Don't know why I'm singing. I apologise for that one. I really do apologise for that. We're just going to start forcing a load of checks. No, it's not. I thought that was checkmate. Then it's not. It's not quite checkmate. Although, I hope checkmate may come soon. Now, checkmate may come soon. Checkmate may come very soon for the poor king over there. The poor king over there. Because he cannot move to this row. Because queen is there. He can't do that. He can't come here either. Well, he certainly can't come there because the bishop's there. But he still can move here or here. We want to stop him being able to move from here and here. So I'd rather do... maybe it would be beneficial to check again with the queen. He goes here now. It's okay. Maybe now is where we can castle. I think castling would be a fantastic thing to do here because it really nullifies... Actually, that's not how you castle. That's how you castle. It really nullifies what this bishop was doing. Because this bishop was attacking the king here, and now I've castled. That's how you castle, by the way. I've explained castling already. I think I've explained castling already. I'm pretty sure I've explained castling already, or at least tried to explain castling, probably poorly explained castling. But look where his king is now. He's starting to get a little bit interested in moving forward. We don't want him to do that. We certainly don't want him to take the bishop, so we're going to move the bishop back to there. Maybe these pawns will start to threaten the bishop now, but no, the pawns instead moved there. I mean, look, he's threatening that pawn, yes. I don't really know why he's done that, to be honest. I don't. What we could do is... Ooh, that's a good move. That's not a bad move at all. Could go there with my queen. Nah, he's finally taken this rook. But the reason I went there with my queen is because that really, really stops his king from moving anywhere. The king cannot move there because of the bishop. The king cannot move to any of these 3 squares, any of these 4 squares, in fact, because of the queen. The queen can take there and obviously up there. The king can, of course, only now move to there or there. Interestingly, though, he can now only move to one place. And I think I've got him. Oh, that's checkmate. Yes, it is. Yes, it is checkmate. Morgan wins. Success. Thank you. Lovely. Lovely stuff. That is checkmate. Because for some reason, I realised that the king couldn't move there because of the queen, but the fact that the king also couldn't move there because of the queen. That was the perfect move to play in that situation. I was thinking of bringing this pawn forward to block off that square. But there we go. Win. The king cannot move there because of the bishop. He cannot move here, 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 or here because of the queen. And he cannot move here because of that bishop over there. At this point, the king falls to his face. He face plants the floor, and he is defeated. We've won the battle. Yay, celebration. We have to celebrate now. That's how it works. I'm glad I won. I'm just going to say I'm glad I won because this would have been impossibly embarrassing if I'd have, made this nice video, nice relaxing chess video for everyone, and then really showed myself up as a terrible, terrible chess player who cannot win a single game. We have only played 2 games. I have taken my time. But we have won a game, which is important. I don't know why I put that pawn there, or did I put that pawn there? I don't even know. Let's not do that. We're getting clumsy, because I did want to end the video, I suppose, didn't I, by showing you that fun little scholar's mate trick. You know, another fun thing is actually that I thought was quite funny to do was always face your knights, because see them, you know, the little horse heads. Always face them, looking at your opponent's king for threat reasons. Because that is a very violent game, chess. It's all about killing other people in the battle, you know, defeating a king. That's why wizard's chess in Harry Potter is actually kind of really accurate, because it's all about, well, in wizard's chess, the pieces literally just like violently smash the other pieces, don't they? That's how that works. Anyway, the scholar's mate, if I can remember, you have to play it if you're white. Not if you're a white person. It doesn't matter if you're a white person or not. It could be any person. But if you are playing with the white pieces, you have to be playing with the white pieces to do the scholar's mate. And if I've got it correct, you are basically exploiting this square. You are absolutely exploiting this square. So, what happens is if you play that, your opponent plays that, your queen... In fact, yeah, it's not even. Yeah, it's not even what I was. It's not even what I was thinking. It is, because that's checkmate. That is checkmate. No, that's not checkmate. I'm being an idiot. That's not checkmate. Why did I think that was checkmate? You can do that. I am an idiot. I am an idiot. How do you do this? How do you do this again? How do you do it? How do you do it? I've forgotten. I've not forgotten. I haven't forgotten. You can move your bishop there. He then has to do that. No, he doesn't. He has to do that. That's what they have to do. Your opponent has to do that. You go there, and that's done it. That's done it. That's checkmate in 3 moves. Because the king has only 1 space to move. Nothing can block that square, because there are no pieces that are able to block that square. So the black pieces have to do that. And if you are white, you have to. If you are playing as white, you have to do this move, that pawn, in order to free up those 2 diagonals to do that. Put the bishop on. That's a very dangerous square for the bishop to be on anyway. That's always a good rule of thumb. That is a very dangerous square for the bishop to be on anyway, because it attacks that square. That square, like we said before, is the weakest square on the chessboard. Likewise, this square for this side is the weakest square on the chessboard. But that is checkmate, the scholar's mate, in 3 moves from white. It's fun, but that's that. And that's how we're going to end this nice little relaxing chess video today. So I hope this has been fun. I hope this has been relaxing. I actually really want to do more of these, more games, because there's so many variations. No game I ever play will be the same game, because there's so many different variations of stuff. And potentially we may play against other people, or we may play against slightly more difficult computers, as we play more and more and get kind of better and better. If you do have any kind of tips or tricks or anything like that in the comments, it'd be nice if you could leave a little comment, because I'm very interested in getting better at this game, because obviously, as we found out today or tonight or whenever you may be watching this, I'm not the best chess player. But I did say at the start that I do not promise to be the best chess player, and I have proved the fact that I am a beginner to intermediate chess player at best, or an intermediate chess player at best, I think, which is fine. But I want to get better. So if you do have any tips or tricks like that, please do leave them in the comments. Don't forget to like this video if you did like it. Subscribe to this channel for more stuff like this, new stuff, obviously, on the It's a Wonderful podcast channel, including things like this, relaxing little videos like this, whether it's chess. We can play other games if you would like. That'd be quite fun, but I certainly want to play chess again, because I think this has been very nice. Have a nice cup of tea, nice candle on, very relaxing atmosphere for a nice game of chess, and that's exactly what we love to do. We love chilling out. That's the whole point of what's going on here. But thank you guys for watching this video, and yes, if you did like, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the It's a Wonderful podcast YouTube channel, this channel you are on right now. Until next time, have a wonderful evening, a wonderful day, a wonderful night, whenever you are watching this, and get some good sleep if you are watching it at night, because that's very important. That's a good situation. Good situation to be in is a situation where you're getting good sleep. But there we go. Thank you guys. Bye.